Drifting in the silent void, Captain Mara Valen embarks on a daring mission to reclaim Earth's forsaken fleet. When ruthless aliens awaken ancient relics pulsing with deadly power, a cosmic battle ignites. Each sacrifice and heartbeat teeters between hope and oblivion as destiny collides with defiance, igniting a new dawn or dooming humanity to eternal darkness. The stakes are cosmic and unyielding. High above a scarred, desolate Earth, the cosmos stretched out in a vast expanse of cold, unyielding darkness. Remnants of humanity's past drifted like ghostly apparitions, derelict starships and weathered satellites, each a silent testament to battles fought and legends lost. The debris field glittered under the faint light of distant stars, each shard of metal and twisted circuit a relic of a once proud legacy now shrouded in sorrow and mystery. Aboard the aging cruiser Aurora's wake, Captain Mara Valen studied a sprawling holographic map that bathed the command deck in an ethereal glow. Her eyes, filled with determination and quiet melancholy, traced the spectral trails of abandoned vessels scattered across the void. "There's history here," she murmured softly, as if the very silence around her demanded to be listened to. Her trusted second-in-command, Lieutenant Wren, stood nearby, his gaze equally heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. The atmosphere on board was a study in contrasts. While the ship's modern systems hummed with life, every flickering light on the display evoked the ghost of a lost era, a time when humanity dared to defy the limits of the universe. Outside, the cosmic graveyard loomed, a vast repository of shattered dreams and heroic endeavors. The void itself seemed to pulse with the echoes of valor and defeat, whispering secrets through the endless night. In the midst of this silent expanse, a soft, rhythmic pulse emerged from the heart of the debris field, a mysterious energy signature that broke the stillness like the gentle throb of a distant heartbeat. To Mara, it was not merely an anomaly. It was as if the relics were beckoning, urging the living to uncover the stories etched into their silent forms. Every lost ship on the hologram was a tale waiting to be told, a legacy longing to be revived. As the Aurora's wake edged closer to the enigmatic pulse, Mara felt an overwhelming connection to the spectral fleet surrounding her. Each abandoned starship seemed to whisper of forgotten triumphs and hidden regrets, inviting her to delve deeper into a past that might yet illuminate a future. The silent void held its secrets close, but she was determined to coax them into the light. The quiet hum of the cruiser's engines blended with the soft beeping of instruments, crafting a lullaby that spoke of both hope and despair. In that delicate balance, Mara sensed that the journey ahead was more than a simple exploration. It was a quest for redemption and truth, a chance to reconcile the scars of the past with the promise of tomorrow. Within the walls of Aurora's wake, every crew member carried their own silent burden, their eyes reflecting memories of a time when Earth's might reached for the stars. Yet, as they sailed through the vast emptiness, a sense of shared purpose bound them together, a belief that even in decay, there was beauty to be found, and in loss, a lesson waiting to be learned. Mara's voice, firm yet imbued with a gentle vulnerability, broke the silence. "We are not just relics of the past. We are the keepers of its secrets," she declared, her tone resonating with both authority and compassion. Her words kindled a spark of hope within her crew, a collective resolve to unearth the forgotten stories hidden among the drifting debris. In that moment, as the Aurora's wake sailed deeper into the silent graveyard, the darkness seemed less foreboding and more like an open book, one whose pages were etched in starlight and whispered memories. The journey to reclaim what was lost had begun, and the mysteries of the cosmos awaited their awakening. Every star, every fragment of forgotten metal, and every lingering echo in the void promised a revelation. And so, with a steady gaze and a heart full of resolve, Captain Mara Valen led her crew onward, determined that the silent graveyard would soon sing once more with the voices of a bygone era. The quiet hum of the Aurora's wake slowly gave way to the steady murmur of voices in the command deck, a chorus of memories and unspoken truths. In the subdued light, Captain Mara Valen's gaze softened as she surveyed the holographic projections of ancient star charts and faded insignias that adorned the walls of the vessel's meeting room. Every image was a portal into a history laden with triumphs and tragedies, echoing the voices of those long gone. Mara began, her voice measured and resolute. "Before we ventured into the void, we were once a proud and fearless people. Each relic out there tells a story of sacrifice and valor. We owe it to our ancestors to reclaim what was lost." Her words resonated with a depth that stirred the hearts of her crew, igniting both reverence and a subtle melancholy. Around the table, soft murmurs of agreement intermingled with the quiet crackle of aged speakers. Lieutenant Wren, his eyes shadowed with both duty and sorrow, recalled the legendary battles that had defined their forebears. I grew up hearing tales of those who soared through the cosmos, daring to defy fate itself, he confided to a nearby officer. Even now, I see the brave faces of my own kin etched in these star charts, their legacy guiding us through this darkness. A young pilot, barely out of training and carrying the weight of untold loss, leaned forward. I still see my father in these relics, he admitted softly, his voice trembling as if in the presence of a sacred rite. His confession painted a vivid picture of a past filled with both brilliance and broken promises, a past that the current generation was determined to understand, if not to mend. As the crew absorbed each word, the room seemed to pulse with the collective heartbeat of history, a rhythm born of both hope and regret. The ancient technology displayed on the hologram shimmered like the fading embers of a once blazing fire, each spark a reminder of battles fought with raw courage and a fierce yearning for redemption. Mara's mind wandered to her own past, the shadows of betrayal and loss intertwining with her unyielding determination. In quiet moments like these, the silent echoes of bygone eras enveloped her, transforming the weight of her memories into a mantle of responsibility. "We stand on the precipice of both memory and destiny," she declared, her eyes locking with each member of the crew. "Our journey is not just to find lost technology, it's to restore the honor of our past and ignite a future that honors every sacrifice made." Outside, the vast cosmic canvas stretched infinitely, each distant star a beacon of hope and a silent witness to the struggles of those who came before. The room filled with the rustle of turning pages and the soft beeping of instruments, punctuating the intimate exchange of history and resolve. In that moment, the crew of the Aurora's wake felt an undeniable connection, not merely to the relics floating in the silent expanse, but to the very essence of what it meant to be human. Each soul present was a living testament to the unyielding spirit of their ancestors, poised to reclaim a legacy that had been almost forgotten. The echoes of the past, filled with both beauty and sorrow, would serve as their compass in the uncertain journey ahead. And as the holographic lights danced over determined faces, it was clear that the weight of history would propel them forward, a journey driven by remembrance, fortified by hope, and destined to illuminate the darkness of the cosmos. Far from the quiet expanse of Earth's silent graveyard, in the cold reaches of deep space, a sleek, menacing flagship cut through the void like a dark omen. Inside its cavernous command chamber, bathed in the eerie glow of pulsating holographic displays, General Zylervex surveyed his domain with an intensity that chilled the soul. The vast, star-speckled backdrop outside the panoramic viewport stood in stark contrast to the calculated precision within, a realm where ambition and vengeance ruled without mercy. Vex's eyes, cold and unyielding, roved over the digital map of Earth's orbit. The holograms flickered, revealing a labyrinth of ancient wreckage and scattered relics, each one a forgotten testament to a bygone era of human glory. His gaze narrowed as he focused on a singular, pulsing energy signature emanating from the debris, a beacon that promised to unlock dormant power. "There it is," he intoned, his voice resonating with a command that brooked no dissent. "The relic we've been searching for. Prepare the armada. We move to seize it at once." The general's words reverberated in the hushed silence of the command chamber. Around him, his trusted aides exchanged glances laced with both awe and trepidation. They knew the potential hidden within those ancient vessels, the kind of technology that could reshape the balance of power, bending reality to the will of whoever dared to harness it. Yet, as the weight of the moment settled over them, it was clear that defiance was not an option. Vex's ambition burned brighter than any warning, fueling a determination to rebuild his empire from the ashes of a fallen world. As orders were dispatched with mechanical precision, the alien armada stirred from its dormant formation. Each vessel, sleek and deadly in its design, answered the call with a silent, formidable unity. The flagship itself seemed to pulse with a malevolent life force, its structure an amalgam of advanced engineering and an almost predatory elegance. Every surface, every glowing panel, whispered of an era where power was not given but taken by force. Deep within the general's mind, memories of past defeats and betrayals melded with visions of an empire reborn. His heart, encased in layers of calculated ambition, beat to the rhythm of conquest. In that moment, General Zylervex was not merely an adversary, he was the embodiment of an ancient, unyielding force determined to remake the cosmos in his image. The relic, with its enigmatic power, was the final piece in his grand design. Outside, the dark canvas of space awaited the inevitable clash. The distant stars, indifferent witnesses to the unfolding drama, blinked silently as if in quiet complicity. The stage was set. On one side, the vestiges of humanity's storied past, adrift and fragile. On the other, an alien force driven by a relentless hunger for domination. In the cold, merciless expanse of the universe, the seeds of chaos had been sown, and the battle for destiny was poised to ignite. With a final, resolute command that cut through the tension like a razor's edge, General Vex's voice echoed through the chamber once more. Engage all units. Let none stand in our way. And so, as the alien armada surged forward into the darkness, the silent void prepared itself for a collision that would alter the course of history forever. Aboard the Aurora's wake, tension coiled in the corridors like a living thing. The familiar hum of the ship's engines was now underscored by an undercurrent of urgency. Suddenly, Lieutenant Rin's voice crackled through the comm system. Captain, sensors are picking up multiple unknown vessels approaching at high velocity. His eyes remained fixed on the flickering indicators as the stark reality of their situation materialized in rapid bursts of data. Mara's jaw tightened as she absorbed the report. The silent graveyard outside, once a realm of forgotten memories, now teemed with a looming threat. The relic, dormant and mysterious, had unwittingly become a beacon to forces beyond their control. Every pulse from the sensors felt like a countdown, an omen of what was to come. In the war room, where holographic maps danced in ghostly hues and the faces of her trusted officers glowed in determined focus, Mara convened an urgent strategy session. The room fell into a charged silence, the only sound the soft beeping of instruments and the measured hum of the ship's systems. Mara's eyes swept across the gathered crew, each individual etched with a blend of resolve and apprehension. We cannot allow them to seize the fleet, Mara stated, her voice a blend of ironclad determination and quiet urgency. If General Vex unlocks those secrets, our world, our future, will be lost. Her words hung in the air like a solemn vow, punctuating the gravity of their predicament. The holographic display illustrated a constellation of incoming vessels, their trajectories converging on the silent debris field. Ren interjected, his tone measured yet laced with worry. They're not just passing through. They're positioning themselves strategically, Captain. It's a calculated move. Each flashing dot on the map represented an enemy unit, a harbinger of chaos poised to disrupt the fragile equilibrium of the cosmos. As the Aurora's wake edged into a precarious alignment, the stars outside streaked past in a blur, a celestial reminder that time was a luxury they could ill afford. The crew's expression shifted from apprehension to fierce determination. Amid the mounting tension, Mara's voice cut through the silence once more. Our ancestors fought against impossible odds. Tonight, we honor that legacy by standing firm. We protect not only these relics but the hope they carry for tomorrow. In that charged moment, the war room transformed into a crucible of strategic deliberation. Ideas clashed and converged as the officers debated their next move. The balance between risking a direct confrontation and safeguarding the ancient secrets weighed heavily on them all. Every heartbeat echoed with the inevitability of the impending encounter, each tick of the clock a reminder that destiny was drawing near. Outside, the void seemed to thicken with anticipation, the incoming armada painting ominous strokes across the dark canvas of space. The crossroads of fate had been reached, and every decision taken in that war room would reverberate through the cosmos. Captain Mara Valen's gaze, unwavering and resolute, met those of her officers, silently affirming that together they would face the storm. In the interplay of light and shadow, determination and dread, the Aurora's wake steered itself into the path of destiny. The collision course was set, and the silent void prepared to bear witness to the clash of legacies, a battle that would test the limits of courage and the strength of a people determined to reclaim their forgotten honor. Captain Mara Valen led a select team through the open airlock of the Aurora's wake, their suits glinting under the distant starlight as they floated toward the hulking silhouette of an ancient battleship. The vessel, draped in a shroud of cosmic dust and silence, loomed like a ghost of eras past, its once formidable structure now a labyrinth of shadow and forgotten glory. Inside, the corridors were a tapestry of decay and memory. The walls, pitted with the scars of time and cosmic battles, were intricate engravings that hinted at a technological prowess lost to history. Every step resonated with the echoes of a long-forgotten era, as if the ship itself whispered secrets of valor and tragedy. Lieutenant Rin's voice crackled softly over the comlink. Captain, this place, it feels almost sacred. His tone mingled all with trepidation, underscoring the profound weight of their discovery. The team navigated the dim passageways, their lights cutting through layers of dust and debris. At every turn, they encountered relics of the past, panels with cryptic symbols, dormant control stations flickering with residual power, and intricate machinery whose purpose had faded into legend. Dr. Lien, the ship's science officer, paused before a weathered console, gently brushing away centuries of neglect. This technology, it's unlike anything we've seen. It's as if each component is a piece of a puzzle that connects our past to the future, she murmured, her eyes wide with a blend of scientific wonder and emotional reverence. The atmosphere was charged with both mystery and melancholy. In the near-silent expanse, the steady pulse of the relic's latent energy served as a heartbeat, a constant reminder that beneath the rust and ruin lay dormant power waiting to be awakened. Mara's thoughts wandered to the legacy of those who had built and then abandoned this formidable armada. Every relic was not merely a piece of metal, but a chapter in a saga of ambition, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of destiny. As they delved deeper, the corridors began to open into a vast chamber that housed the core of the ship, a sprawling nexus of conduits and arcane interfaces. Here, the ambient glow of residual energy cast dancing shadows upon the walls, creating a surreal interplay of light and darkness. Mara stepped forward, her gaze fixed on a massive control console at the center of the chamber. "This is it," she declared, her voice firm yet reverent. "The heart of the relic. Within these circuits in ancient code, we might find the key to unlocking not only forgotten technology, but also the stories of our past." In that moment, the relic seemed to awaken, a subtle shift in the energy, a flicker of light that ran along the worn panels. The ship, long silent and resigned to decay, stirred with a promise of revelation. The team exchanged glances filled with hope and quiet determination, their individual doubts melting into a shared resolve. They were more than explorers, they were keepers of a legacy that spanned generations. Outside, the cosmos watched in silent witness as humanity reached out to embrace its heritage, daring to kindle the flames of a past that might yet illuminate the future. The ancient battleship, now a repository of both lost dreams and untapped potential, beckoned them deeper into its mysteries. In that delicate interplay between light and shadow, between memory and the promise of rebirth, Captain Mara Valen and her crew stepped into the relic, into the unknown, armed with courage and driven by the unyielding need to reclaim what time had nearly erased. Within the narrow, dimly lit corridors of the Aurora's wake, tension began to fester like a silent, unseen storm. As the alien armada loomed ever closer, the unity that had once bound the crew now splintered into murmurs of discontent and distrust. The ship's metal walls, scarred by both time and the harsh realities of space, bore silent witness to whispered conspiracies and furtive glances exchanged in the dark. In a secluded alcove behind the main command deck, Lieutenant Joran, a man renowned for his tactical brilliance and unwavering loyalty, engaged in a hushed conversation with a troubled subordinate. The soft glow of a flickering console painted their faces with uncertain shadows as the subordinate's voice trembled with barely restrained anxiety. "Your obsession with the past could be our undoing," they confided, the words heavy with both fear and resignation. "We risk everything clinging to relics and old glories when our future is at stake." The confession lingered in the stale air, echoing like a sorrowful refrain that hinted at deeper, unspoken fractures within the crew. Elsewhere, in the cramped passageways where the hum of the ship's engines masked the sound of hushed voices, a small group of junior officers huddled together. Their conversation, carried on murmurs and half-glimpsed expressions, revealed a collective uncertainty. "She was our guiding star," one officer whispered, his voice wavering between admiration and doubt, "but sometimes, even the brightest light casts the darkest shadows." In that moment, the cold metal corridors absorbed every furtive remark and secretive laugh, as if complicit in the crew's growing inner turmoil. Back on the bridge, Captain Mara Valen sensed the discord that crept beneath the surface of the mission. As she pored over tactical displays and plotted their course against the incoming enemy, a gnawing worry took root in her heart. Each strategic coordinate and every decision now carried the heavy undertone of internal strife. Pausing for a moment, Mara stepped to the viewport, where the distant stars offered indifferent, yet unyielding, testimony to the vastness of space. In their timeless gaze, she recognized the dual battles at hand, the external threat of the alien armada and the internal battle for unity and trust. In that quiet, reflective moment, Captain Mara understood that the true enemy was not solely the impending invasion, but also the seeds of betrayal that had begun to sprout among her own ranks. The fractures of old wounds and the echoes of unresolved grievances loomed as ominously as the threat outside. Determined to mend these fissures before they could shatter the fragile resolve of her crew, Mara steeled herself for the challenges ahead. For in the endless void, it was not only the enemy without that they must defeat, but also the shadows within. In the endless black of space, silence was a fragile illusion shattered by the first cries of war. A sudden burst of light, a barrage of laser fire and explosive flashes, ripped through the comm, heralding the arrival of General Vex's alien armada. The Aurora's wake trembled under the onslaught as alarms blared, echoing the crew's sudden plunge into chaos. On the bridge, Captain Mara Valen's eyes locked onto the rapidly shifting holographic display, where enemy vessels converged like predatory beasts. "Steady, everyone," she commanded, her voice cutting through the cacophony. Her words were the anchor amidst the storm, urging her crew to brace for the inevitable collision of forces. The once dormant relic now pulsed with an almost prophetic glow in the background, as if it too were aware that destiny had arrived in the form of violence and fury. The space around Aurora's wake transformed into a battleground where streaks of plasma and shards of debris wove a deadly tapestry. Ships maneuvered with desperate precision, their hulls illuminated by the searing trails of energy. Amid the chaos, every flash of light and burst of heat was a stark reminder of the stakes involved, not merely a contest of firepower, but a battle to reclaim the echoes of a storied past. In the heart of the battle, Mara's hands flew over the controls, issuing orders that resonated with calm urgency. Divert power to the forward shields. Lock on the lead vessel and fire at will. Her commands were met with rapid responses. The crew, honed by countless drills and the gravity of their mission, acted with unyielding efficiency. The deck trembled as energy beams collided with enemy armor, sending sparks dancing like angry fireflies in the void. The alien armada, sleek and relentless, advanced with predatory grace. Their ships were an extension of General Zylervek's ruthless will, a relentless force driven by ambition and an unquenchable thirst for domination. As the battle escalated, enemy ships broke formation, targeting key points on the Aurora's wake in a calculated effort to cripple the relic's guardians. Explosions rippled across the hull, and the ship shuddered under the weight of chaos, yet amid the turmoil, Mara's resolve only hardened. Within the command center, Lieutenant Wren's voice rang out, "Captain, multiple enemy fighters inbound. They're swarming from every direction." The urgency in his tone was mirrored by the rhythmic beeps of the tactical console as it registered the enemy's movements with relentless precision. With a steely glance, Mara responded, "Focus our fire on the lead fighters. We can't let them breach our perimeter." In that moment, every crew member felt the pulse of their collective determination, united by the singular purpose of defending not just their ship, but the legacy that it represented. Outside, the cosmic battlefield was a surreal interplay of light and shadow, where every explosion cast momentary glimmers of beauty against the dark canvas of space. The relentless barrage of laser fire created a symphony of destruction, each note a testament to the raw power of conflict. Yet, even amid the chaos, there was an undeniable sense of fate, an inevitability that the clash of these two formidable forces would reshape the remnants of history and forge a new future from the embers of the past. In the midst of this raging inferno, Mara found herself face to face with the realization that the battle was not solely fought with weapons and strategy, but with the indomitable human spirit. Every order she gave, every calculated maneuver, was a stand against the forces that sought to erase the memory of those who had come before. The relic, with its enigmatic glow, served as a beacon, a silent witness to the valor and sacrifice that had defined humanity's journey through the stars. As the clash intensified, a moment of eerie calm fell over the bridge, a brief pause in the relentless chaos that allowed Mara a fleeting glimpse of clarity. With steely determination, she vowed that no matter the cost, the legacy of the past would not be lost to the ambitions of the enemy. With one final, resounding command that echoed through the void, she declared, "Hold the line. Today, we fight not just for survival, but for the honor of our ancestors and the promise of tomorrow." In that fiery crucible of conflict, the fate of a forgotten legacy hung in the balance. The battle had ignited, and with it, the hope that from this tempest of destruction, a new dawn could one day emerge. The relentless barrage of laser fire and exploding debris had ushered in a moment where time seemed to slow. Amid the chaos of the cosmic battlefield, Captain Mara Valen and her crew braced for the culmination of their struggle. The Aurora's wake shuddered under the weight of countless impacts, yet stood resolute, a beacon of defiance amid the void. In the heart of the fray, General Zylervek's flagship emerged from the darkness like a specter of inevitability. Its sleek, battle-worn hull radiated a malevolent energy as it maneuvered into a direct line with Mara's vessel. The space between them pulsed with tension, every heartbeat laden with the gravity of destiny. The holographic battle map flickered on the command deck, a swirling dance of friend and foe, as if the cosmos itself had conspired to set the stage for this final confrontation. Mara's gaze was fixed on the approaching enemy vessel, her mind a tempest of memories and resolve. "This ends now," she murmured, her voice barely audible over the din of war, a vow carried on the currents of starlight. With precision honed by countless trials, she issued her final commands. Prepare for the boarding maneuver. Divert all remaining power to the forward shields. We make our stand here. In unison, the crew of the Aurora's wake sprang into action. The ship surged forward in a daring, calculated thrust, its engines roaring defiance against the void as it closed the gap with the alien flagship. The bridge filled with a flurry of coordinated signals and emergency protocols, the air heavy with anticipation. As the two colossal vessels neared, the chaotic cacophony of battle gave way to a charged, expectant silence, a prelude to destiny. Then, a secure channel crackled to life with a chilling, modulated voice. Captain Valen, surrender. Resistance is futile. Your legacy ends here. It was General Vex, his tone as cold and unyielding as the vacuum beyond the hull. For a heartbeat, time hung suspended, a fragile pause between defiance and despair. Mara's retort was immediate and resolute. Our legacy is not defined by surrender, Vex. It is forged in the fires of sacrifice and the courage of those who dare to dream. Today, we reclaim the honor of our past. Her words rang clear, a beacon of hope and defiance amid the encroaching darkness. In a daring twist of fate, the Aurora's wake unleashed its final offensive. A concentrated barrage of energy erupted from its core, shattering a section of Vex's hull and sending shockwaves through the enemy formation. As the flagship wavered, Mara seized her chance. The boarding team, clad in battle-worn gear and fortified by unwavering resolve, was dispatched through a magnetic airlock into the heart of the alien command vessel. Inside the alien ship, the air crackled with the hum of unfamiliar technology. In a narrow corridor bathed in an eerie, pulsating glow, Captain Mara Valen and General Xyler Vex finally came face to face. Their eyes locked in a silent duel of wills, a collision of ideologies where the future of two worlds balanced on a knife's edge. You think you can challenge the future with relics of a bygone era? Vex sneered, his voice a venomous whisper that betrayed no hint of mercy. Mara's reply was steady, imbued with the quiet fury of one who had weathered too many storms. The future is built on the courage of those who remember. We honor the past not to be chained by it, but to draw strength for what lies ahead. Her words, laced with both sorrow and unyielding determination, reverberated in the cramped space, a declaration that hope would not be silenced. All around them, the distant clamor of battle served as a turbulent symphony, explosions and laser fire punctuating their high-stakes confrontation. Every gesture and every word carried the weight of generations. Each side fought not merely for supremacy, but for the soul of their legacy. In that crucible of confrontation, as the walls of the alien vessel vibrated with the echoes of war, the final stand unfolded, a desperate bid to transform the shadows of the past into the light of a new dawn. With one last resolute command, Mara declared, "For every life lost, for every dream deferred, we fight." Her words, carried on the void like a clarion call, marked the turning point in the battle, a moment where the fate of both worlds teetered on the edge of destiny, waiting for the final, irrevocable act to shape the future. In the midst of the raging battle, as the Aurora's wake and the alien armada clashed in a symphony of destruction, a sudden shift occurred deep within the ancient relic. In the heart of the commandeered alien vessel, where Captain Mara Valen and her boarding team had pressed forward, the dormant technology stirred with an unexpected intensity. Amid the chaos of clashing ideologies and flashing energy beams, the control console at the relic's core began to pulse with an eerie, otherworldly light, a sign that the secrets of the past were finally awakening. The corridor filled with a dazzling radiance, as if the very fabric of the relic was unraveling centuries of silence. The beam of light expanded in concentric waves, bathing every surface in hues of luminous blue and white. In that transcendent moment, time itself seemed to slow. Every heartbeat, every breath, was measured against the overwhelming surge of energy that transformed the ancient technology into a living force. Captain Mara Valen watched in awe and dread as her team worked feverishly to decipher the alien symbols and activate the relic's hidden potential. Their eyes shone with determination, and with a haunting awareness that the activation came at an immense cost. In the radiant flash, several crew members were caught in the surge. Their bodies, silhouetted by the intense glow, became one with the relic's power. The sacrifice was immediate and irreversible. A brilliant engineer, known for her unfaltering optimism in the face of overwhelming odds, was the first to vanish into the pulsing light, her last, whispered words of hope echoing in the corridor. "Embrace this sacrifice," Mara cried out, her voice trembling yet resolute as she reached out through the comlink to her remaining crew. "It is the only way to unlock the legacy of our past and secure the future we fight for." The weight of her words was palpable, resonating with the shared grief and determination that now bound them all. In that heart-wrenching moment, as more of her comrades stepped forward into the radiant unknown, the relic's inner workings unfurled before their eyes. The ancient panels began to glow, connecting like a vast, intricate circuit that transcended the boundaries of time and space. With each life sacrificed, the relic absorbed not only energy but the very essence of human resolve, the collective memory of battles fought, of dreams dared, and of a legacy worth preserving. Outside, on the battlefield, the surge of power from the relic rippled outward. Alien ships faltered, caught in the sudden, inexplicable burst of energy that momentarily shifted the balance of the fight. The cosmic stage was set for a dramatic transformation. The relic, now alive with the fervor of sacrifice, was ready to rewrite the rules of engagement. Tears mingled with determination as the surviving members of Mara's team witnessed this revelation, a bittersweet promise that the losses incurred would not be in vain. The sacrifice, as devastating as it was, had unlocked a potent force within the relic. A new energy coursed through the ship, imbuing the ancient technology with the power to challenge the enemy's relentless advance. In that fragile interlude between despair and hope, Captain Mara Valen understood that their legacy was no longer a relic of the past, it was a beacon for the future. The revelation, born of sacrifice and sorrow, had lit the path forward in the dark expanse of space. And as the dazzling light receded into a steady, resolute glow, Mara vowed that the memories of those lost would fuel the final push to reclaim their honor. The tide of battle was shifting, driven by the indomitable spirit of those who had given everything. Their sacrifice was etched into the very core of the relic, a legacy that would soon surge forth to change the course of the war. In the quiet aftermath of the cosmic storm, silence returned to the void, a silence imbued with both sorrow and the promise of renewal. The relentless battle had subsided, leaving behind scattered embers of shattered enemy vessels and the lingering hum of the relic's power. Aboard the battered Aurora's wake, the surviving crew gathered in the command center, their faces etched with grief, resilience, and cautious hope. The once roiling skies of war now softened into a gentle twilight, as if the universe itself was exhaling in relief. Captain Mara Valen stood at the viewport, gazing out into the vast expanse of space, where distant stars now shone with a tender clarity. The ancient relic, its surface aglow with a steady, soothing light, pulsed like a heartbeat, a reminder that sacrifice and struggle could kindle a new beginning. Memories of the brave souls who had given their lives in the crucible of battle stirred within her, and with every pulse of that radiant force, their legacy was etched ever deeper into the fabric of the cosmos. The ship's corridors, once echoing with the sounds of conflict and clashing metal, now resonated with quiet determination. Crew members, scarred but unbowed, moved with purpose, repairing critical systems and tending to the wounded, their actions a silent vow to honor those lost. Conversations in hushed tones spoke of rebuilding, of harnessing the relic's untapped power not as a weapon of destruction, but as a beacon to guide them toward a brighter future. In a heartfelt assembly on the bridge, Mara addressed her crew, her voice steady and full of unyielding conviction. "Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era," she declared, her gaze sweeping over the assembled faces. "Our past is not a chain to bind us, but the foundation upon which we build our future. Every sacrifice, every loss, has given birth to this moment, a moment of rebirth and hope. Let us honor our legacy by forging a future defined not by our scars, but by our courage to rise again." As the ship sailed through the serene expanse, the remnants of ancient debris and cosmic dust served as silent witnesses to the trials they had endured. Outside, the celestial canvas unfurled like a tapestry of infinite possibility, each star a symbol of resilience and the promise of redemption. The relic's glow mingled with the soft light of dawn, a radiant fusion that illuminated not only the battered hull of the Aurora's wake, but also the hearts of its crew. In that serene twilight of victory and remembrance, the journey of Captain Mara Valen and her crew reached a profound turning point. The war had ended, the relic's mysteries partially unveiled, and the promise of a new dawn beckoned. With every breath, they vowed to rebuild, to reclaim the honor of a legacy that spanned generations, and to nurture the fragile seed of hope that had been so dearly won. As the Aurora's wake charted a course into this promising future, the universe, vast and enigmatic, whispered of untold adventures and the infinite power of redemption. Amid the quiet majesty of space, a new chapter had begun, a chapter where the past was honored, the present embraced, and the future awaited with open arms.